Hello, everybody. Thank you so very much for clicking on. It is Doofus After Dark for a Wednesday, the seventh day of 2023. And let me get that popped up there, Doofus After Dark. Again, hello. Thank you all for clicking on. Um, we are going to be talking about UFOs and artificial intelligence as our two featured topics tonight, and I want to hear what you think. Um, so make sure you hop in the chat if you're so inclined, and we'll get things going. Actually, I want to start off with something just a little bit different. Um, if I can get this set up, and hang with me for just a second, if you would. I'm going to do. Never mind. I think they just disappeared. Okay. Here we go. All right. They didn't just. All right. Um, I'm going to start. I'm going to start out with something a little bit different. Um, I'm going to start out with a. If I can get it set up here to where I can do it. Here we go. I'm going to start out um, with a reading, with a mesh up. Um, I've done this once before, and it just feels like it's. Hold on a second. There we go. Feels like it's kind of time to do it again. Um, and it goes like this: there's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there telling me I've got to beware. Lunatic fringe, I know you're out there. You're in hiding, and you hold your meetings. I think it's time we stopped and asked, "What's that sound?" And everybody, look, what's going down? Now I can hear you coming, and we know what you're after. We're wise to you this time. Wise to you this time. We won't let you kill the laughter. Battle lines being drawn, and nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their minds and getting so much resistance from behind. Lunatic fringe, it's the twilight's last gleaming. This is open season, but you won't get too far. Because you've got to blame someone for your own confusion. We're on guard this time against your final solution. We can hear you coming. Just a little mesh up to kind of start things out. All right. That being said, tonight we're going to talk UFOs. We're going to talk artificial intelligence, and we will get to that as soon as we do our brief news. Good evening, peace, love, and sunshine. And I just popped away from the chat, as I'll be for the next couple of minutes. Top stories, breaking news coming from mainstream media. Associated Press, AP News, millions breathing hazardous air, smoke from Canada wildfires come down upon the United States. I got a better look at that coming up here in more depth. New York Times, prosecutors tell Trump's legal team he is the target of an investigation. It shouldn't be investigation. It should be indictment, but the headline is investigation. The actual article is indictment. NBC News, Mike Pence rips Trump as he launches his 2024 GOP presidential bid. For those that do not know, I ran against Mike Pence. I spent 6 years running against him when he was in Congress. And I'm going to have some stuff to say about this in future episodes. According to National Public Radio, NPR says Supreme Court justices minus Thomas and Alito file financial disclosure reports. So 7 of the 9 filed their financial disclosure reports. Thomas, Judge Clarence Thomas, and Judge Alito have not. BBC News, Canadian wildfires, millions advised to mask up due to intense smoke. Of course, masking up is a wedge issue here in the United States. And again, CNN, and their headline is Chairman and CEO Chris Light is out as the CNN chairman after a brief and tumultuous tenure. So we'll see what direction CNN takes moving forward. Hopefully this will work. We're going to do our Twitter bookmarks. The last 2 nights it hasn't worked. It looks like it might tonight, which will mean the show will flow a lot smoother. We talked about last night. We talked about the dam being blown in on the Nipro River, and we're starting out with a kind of a feel-good story because every life deserves to be fought for. The man waded in and rescued 3 little kittens that were clinging for dear life, and got them all dried off and all taken care of. So a little bit of a feel-good story. In case you don't think that it's serious and real, just look at this pup and clinging, and so happy to be up on dry land. The situation after the destruction of the Kakharka hydroelectric power plant will worsen in the next few hours due to the continued rise of water. That's from the United Nations. This is a video I want to bring some attention.
God bless you, brother.
Hang on. Okay, let's get this to the start. Here we go. All right, here we go.
Some more men just showed up to support us. This cop's going to give them a hard time.
Now, this is shot from the angle of counter-protest to a pride event.
You don't have to say you don't care. I don't. Guys, let them have their. This is public property. With respect. Oh, I'm respecting it. Let them have their event. You know who's cheering for us? The people that are in hell. So you do you, and I'm going to do me. This is public property. You. God is not. That's it. God, this will be public.
Getting this on film.
Can I give him my bag while stuff's in? Yo, I'm going to need you to go to 128 North. And they're clapping. Brothers, man.
I cannot believe I'm watching this.
Altar.
Okay, now this is just a 1 minute, 26-second clip. There will be things happening before that, and of course, things happening after that. But it appears the police officer, at the very least, might have had a very short fuse. Just something to think about, especially if you're going to be out protesting. Armenian Americans were seen fighting with masked Antifa and far-left protesters outside the Glendale School Board meeting. This, again, is from a more right-leaning, as you can tell from the headline. But it's, as always, we do this so that, here, let me get it. There we go. We do this so that it's from the same guy, Graham Allen. We don't tell you what to think or how to think, but there were people that have been talking about this and kind of talking as if it's not such a big deal. I found this footage and I wanted you to see for yourself what happened outside of a school board meeting in Glendale, California.
Oh boy. Wow.
This is coming from helicopter.
Okay.
KCAL News out of Los Angeles.
Copy, I'm going to.
Possibly something we are going to be seeing more of as the summer heats up, as the temperatures heat up, as attitudes heat up. Enjoy these days. Enjoy these days. This comes from Patricia. I hope I pronounced that right. Patricia Eningwo. She's a commissioner in Washington D.C. That is a noose. Now, last night I said I haven't been covering this stuff because I'm only going to cover if it's something really serious or if somebody gets arrested, and this is really serious. The pirate flag, not so much.
Big trouble. And it's not going to be big trouble for us. Big trouble for those guys. Big trouble. Matter of fact, it's the end of the rope for those guys.
Okay, now who are those guys? Anarchy Princess has a video with the person that is responsible for this. I'm not going to say his name. She has a video with him saying that this is for the people in the White House, and that might be something that others might be interested in. Okay, we got another view. This is from BNO News. This is from the same. We saw it from the air. We're going to see it real quickly from the ground. This is from BNO News. Fights break out at school board near Los Angeles meets on LGBT issues and votes on Pride Month. So hang on a second. Let me there we go. Let's get back to the start. Now we got volume. And this is. Okay, and that BNO News video from Sergio Olmos, giving credit where credit is deserved. And hang on a second. Let's pop back over and finish up the bookmarks. This came in 9 hours ago, once again from BNO News. Lava fills parts of Hawaii's Kilauea volcano crater floor. And so the volcano is erupting on the Big Island once again. And something you may want to be aware of if you're planning a trip. Talked about the smoke earlier. This is what it looked like. Here's a video from the George Washington Bridge between New York and Jersey. Very ominous, very horror filmish, very spooky. And again, all of that smoke, all of the pollutants are coming from the Canadian wildfires, which are basically, the fires are burning basically from Vancouver, British Columbia, all the way over to Ontario. So 3/4 of Canada has some wildfires going on. Normally, in a season, they'll lose maybe 3 million acres to wildfires already. The fires have consumed 9 million acres, just to give you an idea of the size and intensity of those fires. This next this next hit on the bookmarks come from Baldy Banks. And he had this article from the Daily Beast. January 6th, lawyer says it's time for DC jail protesters to go home. And Zachary Patrizio is the author of this. And I want to read just a little bit of the article. Almost every night, about 15 blocks east of the U.S. Capitol building, Donald Trump-loving protesters gather in front of a D.C. jail and hold a demonstration on behalf of the J6 defendants who are locked up inside. They call it a vigil. Demonstration is probably more apt. But after a year of holding basically the same protest every night in a spot now referred to as the, quote, Freedom Corner, end quote, one notorious lawyer who vocally supports Trump and has represented a number of January 6 defendants, says enough is enough, both for practical reasons and legal ones. Feels to me like it's reached its natural conclusion, prominent January 6 lawyer and outspoken Trump supporter Joseph McBride told the Daily Beast. It's like, wow, these people have been out there protesting for over a year now, and at some point the counter-protesters show up. And because it's close in proximity and some of the things the counter-protesters say are super vile, it feels to me that the potential for conflict is now the risk outweighing the reward, and that is an end quote. He said, McBride said the protesters have made their point, need to get out of there, quote, before something bad happens, end quote. You can again read the rest of the article at Daily Beast. Title of the article is January 6 lawyer says it's time for DC jail. January 6 lawyer says it's time for DC jail protesters to go home. So take of that what you will, take of that what you wish, and we'll come back because I've got one more thing from also from, hang on. That's what it looks like when an earthquake is happening, when you have a swimming pool. Why is this not? There we go. Police have charged a 19-year-old suspect in relation to a mass shooting that we reported on last night outside of Virginia high school graduation ceremony, saying he was targeting a longtime rival. He hit his target. The longtime rival died, as well as the longtime rival's stepfather. And again, that one is another from the Daily Beast. And this kind of leads us into where we are going to be heading tonight. And again, somebody requested I show this again, and we're going to do it in full screen. This was caught from a news helicopter in Arizona, ABC 15. This is on August 19th, 2016, but it just resurfaced. And you can see the dot being tracked. It appears to be either a disk or an orb. And as always, just showing you these things and letting you think for yourselves. All right, a couple other things we're going to touch on before we get to the main topics tonight. Nobody has told me, quote unquote, that's Donald Trump erupts amid reports of imminent espionage and obstruction indictments. According to Trump, 6 hours ago, he knew absolutely nothing about any of it. Now, according to Radar Online, Donald Trump's chief of staff, Mark Meadows, has flipped and is pleading guilty for immunity. And this report, again, comes from Radar Online. Meadows was said to have testified before a grand jury as part of his cooperation with Department of Justice investigators. The embattled ex-president was at the center of two separate probes, one focusing on missing classified documents that were recovered at Mar-a-Lago, his private Florida club. Trump was also being investigated for his role in the January 6th insurrection. So, a lot of rumors swirling, and it's more than just a hum in Washington, D.C. I've talked to a few people today in various different capacities that are all saying that, you know, the police have already been informed that something may be happening this week, and it's been leaked. And I believe Trump's attorneys have been given the legal paperwork that actually the New York Times that we referenced in the headline breaking news from mainstream media said that Trump's lawyers had been given documents that an indictment was coming. So it appears Meadows flips for some sort of immunity. Will it be full immunity? And an indictment could be coming. What does that mean? What's going to happen? That's another thing we need to talk about. Okay, I mentioned the dam, and we saw the little kittens, and we saw the pup. This is another aspect. The dam breach fuels concerns about the nuclear plant safety. The Zaporizhzhia power plant. I thought I had a map. Sorry. The Zaporizhzhia power plant. There's the map. The map's on the video. The Zaporizhzhia power plant gets its water. Hold on. Here we go. Let's pause this. Here's the it sits right on the reservoir from the dam. All of this is backfilled water, and one of the main reasons, not only was it drinking water for all of this region, all the way down into Crimea, but it is also what's used to cool and to keep cool not only the reactors themselves, but the spent nuclear material. So the potential for huge, massive disaster, as well as reports of Russian troops literally getting swept away and when the dam was blown, and Russia, for most of what I'm hearing, Russia was the one that did this because they might be losing all this territory anyway. So what do they care what condition they leave it in? Is basically the thought. All right, so we've shown a UFO, or which that's what it was, an unidentified flying object. I'm not saying it's it's an alien spacecraft. So we end up with this. This is just the beginning of a revolution. Okay, this that's a quote unquote. This is the beginning of a revolution. DeepMind co-founder says personal AI assistants will make us better at basically everything. Now, we've been hearing how potentially deadly it was. This is a different view. Personal AI assistants will help make humans more efficient, the co-founder of DeepMind says. Of course, he's selling AI. These systems will make you much better at everything you want to do. Personal AI assistants will also change how people search for information. Okay. I'm not sure about any of that personally, but that's what this guy's saying. So I wanted to get it out there because it's a different view from what we have been seeing. Aliens, what are they going to look like? This is just some renderings. When you search for alien, of course, it's got little baby Yoda in there, Groot from the Galaxies movie. But what will we see when we do eventually see, or will we see anything? Or is it artificial intelligence that has brought these alien spacecraft here? Something to think about. Hello, Sam Singe. Great show tonight, as always, from Sam and Baldy. Sam and Baldy right back here, Damnation Drive-In. They'll be on Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, which is 7 Central, 6 Mountain, and 5 Pacific. Make sure you catch Damnation Drive-In. They're going to keep you up to date on all the stuff that's going on. And it started, it got a little bit, almost got a little bit physical at that quote-unquote Freedom Corner tonight. And I hope that they take the advice and go home. But I think that's not going to happen. And hopefully nothing bad happens from them being there. But I don't know. Sam and Baldy mentioned this tonight. I've mentioned it for like a week and a half now. It just feels like there's just a vibe that, you almost don't want to do anything fun because it's almost like, things are so tense and so just feels like on the edge, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And I'll feel a whole lot of relief if when Trump is indicted, because he's going to be indicted, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's Friday, whether it's next week, whether it's sometime even further down the road, he is going to be indicted. I have a feeling it's going to be tomorrow or Friday. And I'm basing that on what I've been hearing from various contacts. And if you've tried to, I wasn't going to say anything about this in public, but um, I'm getting like 40 to 60 phone calls a day. Um, and it's all because of people I helped recently. And so if I've missed your phone call, I do apologize. I generally now keep it off and just go and check. And if I don't know who the number is, I just automatically block all of them, and then I see I missed calls and I call people back. So that's out there. All right. Um, I forgot where I was going with that. Things are tense, and I've been for I don't know 4 or 5 weeks. I've been talking about I was going to do a second Doofy Awards to kind of because this I had a feeling this thing's all going to end. But it's just the vibes have just felt like it's hard to have fun. And to me, that's why Damnation Drive-In's important. That's why the basement, G. Abbott, and because you can kind of let some steam off, and it's hard otherwise. It's just it's tough to be funny when so much crap's going on in the world. But we try. We try. I call in as monkeypox, so there's always that. So AI. AI is it okay? Let's deal with this first. Worried this won't end well. They need a bigger grift, and sadly, violence. Yeah, I agree with both of those. I agree with both of those that it's not going to end well, and that and Telescope and I have had some conversations offline about the violence porn, murder porn that that some of these people that get caught up in and just want more and 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 more. And tomorrow night I'm going to talk about that. What do they do for views is the title of tomorrow night's episode, and we're going to talk about that. And I was intending to talk about it based upon the guy that the YouTube influencer that drank the Chinese liquid and died on camera, and the guy that built his own guillotine and cut his own head off. Those kind of things. What. And then I find out in our little non-chud world, I find out that somebody's naked and drunk to the point of passing out. And I find out somebody else has pulled a gun and is pointing it on, we need to all check ourselves. And we need to remember that while this is entertainment, lines can get crossed, and nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. I don't think. Well, I shouldn't say that. Shit, that's not even true, because there are people that are screaming for it. I hope there's not enough of them, to be honest with you. I'll feel a lot better when Trump's indicted if there is not an uprising of some sort. I'll feel a whole lot better. That's been a concern of mine since, and our friend Chris, our expert on all things military and things that go boom, he's been putting in some work lately, and we haven't had him on. I can't tell you what he's doing, what's going on, anything like that. But he and I've been talking about it, and I just can't help but feel that they're going to, and I hope the pockets remain small, but I just can't help but feel that when this happens, when Trump realizes it's inevitable, he's going to put out the call to his people, and whether they respond or not, or whether they realize that the people sitting in J6 in jail right now for January 6, 2021, answered his call, and they are still sitting in jail, and many of them are just now going to jail, and they're going to be more and more continuing to go to jail. I would think that would be a deterrence. I would think that they would learn the lesson that, hey, this clown isn't worth me going to prison for. But that's not how they look at it. Okay. It's just going to be a matter of how many of them are there. How serious does it get? Does it get to the point where the military and the police are involved all across the country? We're under martial law. If so, how many of the military and how many of the police are going to be on whose side? How are you going to tell who's on who's? Man, this is just way, way, way too messy to be as far down the road towards it as we are. And that, again, this is just my opinion, and this is not what I intended for tonight to be about, but maybe it has to be because of where we are. Tomorrow could be tense. Tomorrow could indeed be tense. Geez. I ran for office because, because primarily there were three things. The jobs were disappearing so fast from the area I was in. The Ohio River, which provides water to a lot of the area I was running to represent, is the most polluted waterway in America. And we were going to war against Iraq, and I didn't feel like it was justified. I felt like we should be focusing on Afghanistan and Osama bin Laden, and I felt that this was George W.'s way of trying to make up, trying to best his daddy, so to speak. And I'm still not, I'm still not off that wagon, but I don't know if they'll remember it or not. I hope they do. My daughters were in the gallery of the Senate when the Senate voted to go to war against Iraq, voted for military action against Iraq. And and I say all that because I really care. I care about this country. I care about the people in this country. And I care about all the communities. I love the diversity of our country. I love the different art and the different cultures and the different musics and the different foods. And so much of that all is now considered less than, considered something that should be stamped out, something that has to be whitewashed. And And maybe the only thing that can save us is UFOs. Uh, maybe the only thing that would ever unite, come close to unite. The only thing that is ever going to come close to uniting our country. It's not going to be Mike Pence. It's not going to be Chris Christie. Not going to be Joe Biden. It's not going to be Kamala Harris. It's going to be an attack, and that's, man, that's such a sad statement on our society. We got to realize how blessed we are. That's why I say enjoy the days. We got to realize how blessed we are to live in the country we live in, and hey, I struggle, I scrape, I get by with a little help from my friends, and but yet I understand how blessed I am. Yeah, I lost a whole bunch of stuff. I lost a bunch of stuff because of politics, and you get blackballed. You can't get really good jobs when you've gone against the Republican establishment for years, and that's okay. That's not what this is about. This is about somehow we've allowed a minority percentage of our country to think that they are our country. In their minds, they're the United States, and the rest of us are in the way. Do they have more guns? Do they have more desire? Do they have but they are out there. Again, I started the show with a little mashup of For What It's Worth by Buffalo Springfield. Song that still resonates even though it came out in the late 60s. And Lunatic Fringe by Red Rider. Song that came out decades later, but yet the lyrics resonate still today, at least in my opinion. The only thing that will ever bring us together is the worst thing that could ever happen. How asinine is that? But that's where we're at. Vocal minority ruling us all. That's spot on, Sam. And that's, they are loud, and they will be violent. What's the response when and if it comes? I don't know if anybody's even talking about it. Or is everyone just assuming that there'll be enough military and enough police to handle things? I hope that's the situation, but if not, a vocal minority will be ruling us all. It's getting more dangerous for sure. Yeah, I totally agree, Breway. Very sad to want the attack to be foreign and not domestic. Yeah, wow, that's a profound statement and so very true. Yeah, if the attack is domestic, it definitely is not going to unite our nation. But, and I've said this multiple times, we've got the potential of Israel-Iran hostilities that we're going to be involved in. We've got Russia escalating or potentially losing, which will mean they're going to get more and more ruthless. We've got China and Taiwan. We've got North Korea. We've got cartel problems on our southern border in Mexico, that some of those cartel problems are bleeding in. We got wildfires in Canada that are impacting the eastern portion of the United States anyway, and part of the Pacific Northwest. Yeah, if the aliens are going to come and they're coming, that's one thing I wanted to talk about. If they're coming, what are they coming for? Why are they here? Why have they been here? Are they here to make sure we don't destroy the planet? Are they here for mining resources? Are they here for water? Are they here for the atmosphere? If they're here, why are they here? And it's getting real hard to say if they're here, because you've got congressional hearings, you've got NASA holding its first public hearing, you've got other nations that are much more open, including Chile. So there are unidentified flying objects. You got a whistleblower saying that we've been retrieving them. We, meaning the United States government, we've been retrieving unidentified flying objects. We have the occupants. And when this is the one important thing I wanted to kind of get out. When it happens, I started out with kind of, jocularity. What are they going to look like? But that's not the factor. The factor is the impact it's going to have on humanity, on so many different cultures and on so many different levels. And this is why they haven't told us, is because what does it do to organized religion? What does it do to organized governments? All of a sudden you realize, okay, we're really not alone. How does that impact? Can humanity handle it? A lot of people are going to say it's a lie. We know that. We know that's how it works. We're in a place right now that people standing on two sides of a river, the water used to be clean and you used to see the rocks and you used to be able to go across the river from the right to the left. And it wasn't like it is now. Now you don't know what to believe. The water is so muddy, you can't see to go across. You're not going to believe anybody on the other side, because there's been so much putrid hatred, vitriol, lies, conspiracies that have muddied everything. And that's all intentional so that we do not know what to believe. And that's a big part of the division in our country, is that there are people still thinking Donald Trump won the White House in 2020. There are people that think, despite all the imagery from all the advanced technologies of satellites, including the space stations, the words of the astronauts, people think the world's flat, and we don't really launch anything. There is no space to launch anything into. There's some absolute absurdity and an incredible lack of critical thinking. And maybe that phrase right there defines the internet: an incredible amount of absurdity and an incredible lack of critical thinking. And maybe we need artificial intelligence. Maybe we need it because there's a mass psychosis going on in a lot of levels of our society. I don't know. I wanted this to be a little more fun and a little more interactive, and instead it is what it is. I guess it's what needs to be said. That's why it's coming out. That's kind of how I do this. Like I've said, this show, this channel is kind of. Hang on just a second, please. I wouldn't take this otherwise. But hey, baby girl, I'm doing a live show. Can I call you back? Okay, give kisses to the girls for me. Love you. Bye. Sorry about that. That was my daughter, one of my daughters. And now I've lost track of what I was saying again. The way this show's kind of like, I've said it before, it's kind of like, public access, the public access channel on cable, or your public radio, or your public TV station. You never know what you're going to get. You'll get a little bit of news. You'll get some talk. You'll get some trips. You'll get some guests. You'll get some live coverage of events. You'll get some restreamed of events. You'll get a little bit of everything, and you never know what you're going to get. And I thank everybody very much for continuing to watch this and for listening and for being thinkers, because you don't. This is not a show where there's tons and tons of drama. This is not a show where it's totally fun and games. I haven't had a game night in like 3 weeks. I need one. I need some fun. And I'm going to do that at the end of tomorrow. By the way, we'll have some games after we talk about what people do to get views. We're at a precipice. Humanity should be so much further developed than we are, in my opinion. And I just feel like that, like it or not, we're going to have to eventually decide, where are we at? What do we believe? And what do we stand for? And what do we not take? What do we refuse to accept? That's a distinct possibility. Just something to think about. I'm going to call my daughter back and find out what that was about. It's late and she doesn't normally call at this hour, so I'm hoping nothing's really bad. Again, thank you all for watching. We'll do about an hour tomorrow night as well, starting at 8 o'clock. And Lori Arnold may be on with me. We've kind of, Thursdays, we're going to do, have her on. And but she's working a lot. And right, good on her. Good on her and what she's trying to do. And I'm going to be off Friday. So, but Sam Baldy, Damnation Drive-In, every Friday, 8 p.m. Saturday, I'm going to be live somewhere. I'm going to be in real life somewhere, doing a stream. I'm not exactly sure where yet. Still working on that. But Saturday, at some point, I will be live. So hit the subscribe, hit the notification. Please hit the like. And thank you very much for being here. And with that, namaste, shalom, shalom, assalamu alaikum. Blessings be upon you. If you're not spiritual in any way, shape, or form, I still love you. I still respect you. I still appreciate you. And spread the word to think. Think. You better think. Think about it. Maybe play Aretha. Love you all. Positive vibrations, peace, live long and prosper. And it's a dark world. Things just keep getting darker. Do try to be a light. I love you all sincerely.